Have you ever stared at your notes for hours and then realized you don't remember anything you just read? You spend half your night rereading, highlighting, and watching study motivation videos. But when the test comes, your brain just goes blank. It's frustrating. You see others finishing early, getting high grades, and somehow remembering everything. And you start wondering, what are they doing that I'm not? I've been there too. Back in college, I'd spend more time pretending to study than actually learning anything. Until I discovered a few techniques that made me study so fast, it almost felt like cheating. Promise/preview. In this video, you'll learn a simple mental framework. A mind hack that helps you absorb information faster, remember it longer, and actually enjoy studying. And no, this isn't about drinking 5 cups of coffee or pulling all-nighters. It's about understanding how your brain really learns. By the end, you'll know exactly how to make your brain work with you, not against you. Let's start. The active recall trick: study without rereading. Most people think studying means rereading notes until they stick. But that's one of the biggest traps. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't learn when you're looking at information. It learns when you're trying to remember it. This is called active recall, the act of pulling information out of your memory instead of pushing it in. For example, instead of rereading your biology notes 10 times, close the book and ask yourself, what's the main function of mitochondria? Then try to answer it from memory. Even if you get it wrong, your brain goes, wait, I need to remember that next time. And that small moment of struggle locks the memory in. I used to spend 3 hours highlighting my notes. Now, I can retain more in 30 minutes just by testing myself. You can do this with flashcards, quiz apps, or even a blank page. Write a question on top and force your brain to answer it. It's like training a muscle. Every recall strengthens your memory. The blur effect. Stop over-focusing. Now, here's something counterintuitive. When you focus too hard, your brain actually learns less. Sounds weird, right? There's a mental trick I call the blur effect. It's when you stop obsessing over every word, and instead, let your brain absorb the big picture first. Think of it like looking at a puzzle. If you stare at one piece for too long, it doesn't make sense. But once you see the full image, the pieces suddenly click. So before you start memorizing details, spend 5 minutes skimming through your chapter. Look at headings, bold words, diagrams. Just get a rough idea. That creates a mental map for your brain to organize information faster later on. It's like saying to your mind, here's the landscape, now fill in the details. And the best part? You'll waste way less time trying to perfectly understand something on the first try. Understanding grows in layers, not all at once. 3. The explain it to a 10-year-old method, the Feynman technique. Okay, let's move to the next one. This one changed everything for me. It's called the Feynman technique, named after Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman. He said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. Here's how it works. After studying a topic, pretend you're teaching it to a 10-year-old. Explain it out loud, as if you're making a YouTube video or teaching a friend. If you stumble or start using big fancy terms, that's a red flag. It means your brain hasn't fully digested it yet. So go back, read that part again, and simplify it. Once you can explain it clearly in simple words, you've truly learned it. I used to do this while walking around my room, talking to myself. Yes, it looked weird, but it worked. And guess what? Teaching others is like turbocharging your understanding. Because when you teach, you're not just recalling, you're restructuring knowledge. The time box focus hack: beat procrastination fast. Here's something you'll love if you struggle to start studying. You don't need motivation. You need a timer. It's called time boxing. Setting a short, focused block of time where you promise to study only until the timer ends. For example, set 25 minutes for focused study, then 5 minutes break. This is also known as the Pomodoro technique. The trick is simple. When you know there's a clear stop point, your brain stops resisting. It thinks, okay, it's just 25 minutes. I can do that. And once you start, momentum builds. Most of the time, you'll keep going even after the timer rings. Just make sure during that 25-minute block, you remove all distractions. Phone on silent. Tabs closed. One goal only. Remember, the hardest part isn't studying. It's starting. So if you ever feel stuck, tell yourself, I'll just study for 10 minutes. 9 out of 10 times, that's all you need to beat procrastination. The brain chain method. Connect what you learn. Let's talk about long-term memory. Ever wonder why you can remember random movie scenes, but not what you studied last night? It's because memory works through connections. Your brain doesn't store facts in isolation. It links them to meaning and context. So here's the hack. Whenever you learn something new, connect it to something you already know. For example, if you're learning about the heart, link it to a pump. If you're studying chemistry, relate it to cooking, mixing ingredients, heating reactions. The stronger the connection, the faster your brain recalls it later. I call it building a brain chain. Every new fact links to an old one, forming a chain of understanding. You can even visualize it. Draw mind maps, diagrams, or simple sketches. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to make sense to you. This method turns dry memorization into storytelling. And the brain loves stories. Warning 6. Pitfalls you must avoid. Now, before you run off and try all these methods, let me warn you about a few common mistakes. First, don't mix methods randomly. Pick 1 or 2 to start, and stick with them for at least a week. Your brain needs consistency to adapt. Second, don't chase speed over depth. Studying fast doesn't mean rushing. It means learning efficiently while still understanding deeply. Third, don't compare your pace to others. Some people need 1 pass to learn something. Others need 3. It's not a competition. It's calibration. And finally, don't forget to rest. Sleep is not optional. During sleep, your brain literally replays what you learned and strengthens it. If you skip that, it's like writing on a whiteboard that gets erased overnight. So yes, study fast, but don't study recklessly. Let's quickly recap. Active recall, don't reread. Test yourself. Blur effect, start broad, then go deep. Feynman technique, teach what you learn. Time boxing, study in short, focused bursts. Brain chain method, connect new ideas to old ones. Avoid pitfalls, be consistent, patient, and rest well. These are the exact techniques that helped me cut my study time in half, while remembering twice as much. When you apply them, you will realize something powerful. Studying doesn't have to feel like a struggle. It can feel almost effortless. So here's my challenge for you. Pick just one of these methods, maybe active recall, and try it today, even for 20 minutes. Notice how your brain reacts. You'll be surprised how quickly things start clicking. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe. Because next, I'm breaking down a scientifically proven focus technique used by top students and memory champions. Remember, it's not about being smarter. It's about learning smarter. You've got this.